Guess we're having car issues again. Stuck on the way from Bo.
And maybe replaced likely, but this is what it looked like. It was not ideal. You see how close we are? Not a fun trip. Almost an hour.
Somebody broke into the property. Boom! What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatago. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living in West Africa. And if you want to know about the disastrous experience I had trying to get out of Sierra Leone to get back to Ghana, then this is the video for you. I know. Every single video about my travel the last 2 months within West Africa has been a disaster. I know I've said it about my travel from Ghana to Nigeria, what happened there, then leaving Nigeria to go to Sierra Leone, what happened there, and now leaving Sierra Leone to come to Ghana, another travel disaster. And it's all different. You know, this one at least was partially on me, and so I'm gonna tell you all about it. Check it out. So first things first, I did not book my ticket to go back from Sierra Leone to Ghana far in advance. I was going to book it when I got to Bo. And of course, when I get to Bo, there's no internet. QCell was having an issue, so was Orange Telecom, was having an issue connecting. So you could connect to your MiFi device, but the device was not connecting to the internet. So it would say, you would get a signal that would say connected without internet. That's what it would say on your phone. And that's what it would say on your device. So you could not get online. Can you imagine 48 hours, almost 72 hours of no internet connection? I was losing my mind. Barely got bits and pieces of internet, but it was very difficult. I was trying to get a bunch of work done over the weekend and I couldn't get it done because I was stuck without internet. So it was not ideal, it was very challenging. It was a very challenging last weekend, to say the very least. And I did what I could, but it was a challenge. So QCell was down. What can I say? I couldn't book my ticket, and so I was stuck. So what that meant was that I had, and I couldn't figure out how to get my COVID test to leave Sierra Leone. So here's the other thing about Sierra Leone, it's funny. Check this out. So none of the other West African countries that I've been to, including Sierra Leone, require you to get a test to enter the country if you have a vaccination card, right? They also don't require you to take a test to leave their countries if you have a vaccination card. However, Sierra Leone, even though it doesn't require you to have a test to come into the country, if you have a vaccination card, they require you to get tested to leave the country if you have a vaccination card. It makes absolutely no sense. Really, it's just a way for them to make money. This is a challenge, Sierra Leone, and we need to fix this. Come on. You're charging people basically $70, sometimes $100, sometimes more, to get a test that is not required for anywhere that they're going. Why are you doing that? Anyway, I had to push my flight. So I spent the weekend in Bo. It was still good because I got a chance to see some people and to learn a bit about my culture and things like that, so that was necessary. However, that meant that I had to drive back to Bo. So let's drive back to Freetown, find somewhere else to stay for a couple of days because the next flight wasn't until Wednesday, and then be able to do the process of getting out of there. So there was a lot there. I was supposed to try to fly out on Monday, but that didn't work. So anyway, on Monday, I go to drive back, but let's just jump right into the next video. Let's take a look. Yeah, so on the way back to Freetown, we left at 12 noon. We left at a pretty good time where I was gonna get to Freetown by the plan was to get to Freetown by 3 p.m., check in, hang out. A friend of mine who goes back and forth between Ghana and Sierra Leone was in Sierra Leone at the time, so I was planning to hang out, catch up with him, hadn't seen him in a couple months. And we get outside of Bo, we pass the Bo checkpoint. We go a couple of towns over, maybe about 30 minutes past the Bo checkpoint. So at this point, we're 45 minutes, almost an hour outside of Bo, and the car just breaks down. And this isn't the first time the car has broken down. It actually happened on the way to the airport in 2019. But this time, my driver stopped because he had to pee, and the car just broke down, man. When he tried to start it, it wouldn't start again. He went in there, looked at the starter, realized that the starter had some issues with it. And so we decided, all right, we need to go back to Bo, leave my bags in the car, lock everything in the car. We gotta get on a bike, go back to Bo, find an electrician. He's gonna take the starter to the electrician work on the starter, then go with the electrician back to the car, put it in the car, make sure it works, then drive the car back to Bo, pick me up, and take me to Freetown. So that was the plan. 12 p.m. that happens. We spend about an hour on the road, so about 1 p.m. From 1 to 2 p.m. we're sitting in the car, he's trying to fix it, doesn't work. So from 2 p.m. we get on a boat, we get on a bike, head back to Bo. So for about 3 p.m. I'm back in Bo. The car is not fixed, finished, and back to me until 10 p.m. So we get on the road at 11 p.m. because of course my driver had to eat. So we ate first at the compound. We get back on the road and head out. So I'm gonna show you that whole process. It was crazy. Check it out.
All right, so we're having car issues again. Stuck on the way from Bo. The car won't start. No, it's on.
As you can see, I wasn't joking when I say I had to get on the back of this bike. There's 3 of us on this bike. I'm holding my hat. It actually fell off, but yeah, I'm holding my hat. He's holding the piece. He's holding his phone. There's the thing. That's the thing that has to go get cleaned and maybe replaced likely. But this is what it looked like. It was not ideal. You see how close we are? Not a fun trip. Almost an hour.
All right, car is finally fixed, and we are now on our way to Freetown. We're not actually on our way to Freetown yet. We still have to pay the mechanic a little bit more money before we head back to Freetown. So I don't want to speak too soon, but as you can see, the car is fixed. We're moving again. It is now after 9 p.m. What time is it? Let me look at the time right now. It's 10:28 p.m. 10:28 p.m. We are finally leaving. You know, when we were on our way to Freetown at after 12. So now we're finally on our way to Freetown. So we'll get there later. I'll give you guys an update once we get to Freetown where we're going.
Now, as I mentioned before, this is a pretty dangerous trip at night. As you can see, it's really, really dark. There are no street lights on the road. And so as you're driving, you just have to do everything in your power to avoid any other large vehicles. But you see, there aren't really many cars on the road. Like, that's a guy on a bike. We passed them. We had passed a truck earlier. But you just drive with your high beams on and hope for the best. Now, these guys had their high beams on us, and it was a very, very powerful light, as you can see.
Crazy, right? On the bike, he and I both on the back of the bike with the bike rider, so 3 of us on this bike. Not ideal, just to say the least, for all reasons that you can imagine. Not an ideal circumstance, but it is what it is. That was the situation that we were in, and so you could see that we were driving super late at night. It was super dark. There are no lights. So everybody drives with their high beams on when you're driving because it's so dark and it's so hard to see. And one of the tricks to driving is that you could drive whatever speed you want, but as soon as you see some high beams off in the distance, you slow down, make sure they can see you, and you get as far off to the side as you can so they don't run into you. Because so many accidents happen, and if you're both driving head on at that speed, people are driving 80, 95, 100 miles per hour, it can be dangerous and disastrous. So anyway, car broke down on the way. That was the situation. Was not ideal, to say the least. But that was the situation. So that was Monday on the way back. We ended up getting in to Freetown at 3:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. Had to get up in a couple hours and get right to work that next day on Tuesday, and then figure out when I was gonna get my COVID test and when I was flying out, which ended up being on Thursday of that week. But yeah, that was the situation on the way. That's just one of the major disasters that happened. Let's get into the next one. So when I get back to Freetown, I go back to the site and I find out that somebody broke into the property. Car was unlocked. Somebody jumped on the new thing that we have in place there to stop the water. There was no barbed wire on top, so they were able to just jump over and then just walk out the gate and leave, because the gate's open from the inside. You can just open the gate and walk out. And so the door was unlocked because it was on the property, and that was their fault. Somebody went in and stole the car battery out of the car on the property. So check that video out, check it out.
So somebody used this to jump up and go over there and go inside the property. So we need to get the barbed wire back here.
Can you imagine somebody jumping in and stealing out of the car? Like, come on, really? Really, guys? Really? So now we had to fix the barbed wire up there, so that'll never happen again. But also I need to think through some other things I need to put in place to deter people, because barbed wire might not be enough. It's helpful, but it might not be enough to stop people. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to put glass on the top of there as well, so that you have the barbed wire on top like this, and then you have glass on the very top, so it's really sharp. So even if you try to put like a shirt or a blanket or something over top of it, you're gonna have to like put your hands on top and the glass is there to try to get over it, so people don't do that again. We are trying to stop people from breaking into the property. So, second disaster. Lesson learned. One more, check this out. So of course, when the time comes on Thursday to catch my flight to go back to Ghana, I missed the flight. That morning, I woke up with plenty of time. I was under the impression that the Seabird, Seacoach, Aberdeen Water Taxi, the three companies that take you across the water, leave 3 hours before your flight. What I've discovered is that they leave 4 hours before your flight, not 3 hours. And so I woke up that morning, did everything I needed to do, ran a bunch of errands, was on my way, and I talked to a friend, and they had left something in the apartment that I was staying in. And because the cleaner was gonna go in there, and because my caretaker didn't really have a key to the place, I had to go back to get the item that they lost, give it to my driver. That was the plan, to give to them. Well, guess what? The item was not there. So we drive the Seacoach. They tell us it's gonna be, the boat has left, it's 10:40. The boat had left at 10 a.m. There was nothing I could do. The boat's gone. All I could do is charter a boat for myself. And so they gave me two options at Seacoach. There was a $500 option and a $300 option. Too expensive. I call Seabird. Seabird tells me it's $350. Obviously, not an option. It's basically the same price as a flight, just for a boat. Meanwhile, it's supposed to cost $40 to get across. And this is the issue with having the airport on a peninsula across the water from where the main capital city is. It's a pain. And so the last place I went to is Aberdeen Water Taxi, which I recommend everybody use. By the way, I say you should use Aberdeen Water Taxi because that's the only one that Sierra Leone owned, by the way. So Aberdeen Water Taxi, they were able to charter the boat for me for 3 million leones, which is basically like $280. So instead of having to pay the $300 or $350 or $500, I paid about $280 to charter the boat with them. Got me there with plenty of time to check in and all of that. Honestly, I could have swam across the water and gotten there in time because the plane got there really late. But it was disastrous. I ended up spending an extra almost $300 after the property got broken into, after I got broken down on the way. It was just an overall disaster. Not ideal at all. But anyway, that was the situation. So why don't you check it out?
All right, guys, so I am ready to go. I'm about to head out right now. I need to go to QCell first so that I can get some more data so I can use my Wi-Fi for a little bit while I'm at the airport. And then I need to pull some money out to give back to the person who gave me money for my COVID test yesterday because I didn't have cash. The COVID test person was here and I didn't want to go all the way to the ATM. Long story. But anyway, running some errands before I go. When you're leaving Sierra Leone, make sure you give yourself advance notice. So it's about a little after 9 a.m. right now. My flight's not till 2, but you need to make sure you have all this advance notice in time so you can do everything you need to do before you go. All right, let's check it out. So here's the situation with Seabird and Seacoach. Nowhere online can you find the schedule. So my flight's at 2. I thought that meant I needed to be here by 10:30 or 11 at the latest. What I found out is that for the 2 p.m. flight, you actually have to leave at 10 a.m. So I was about 45 minutes late. for this flight, and because of that, now I have to charter a boat. Now, usually it's $40 or 400,000 leones to take Sea Coach or Seabird. If you want to charter a boat, the minimum is $300. In this case, I have been told that they'll do it for 3 million leones, which is like 200 and change. But I also have to pay overweight for my bag, so now I'm spending an extra $300 more than I was anticipating spending today, which is not ideal considering all circumstances, but these are the things you need to know. So here's what you need to know. If whatever time your flight leaves, you need to be at Sea Coach 4 hours before the time your flight leaves. So my flight leaves at 2. Sea Coach would have left at 10. So if your flight leaves at 4, your Sea Coach leaves at 12. So just keep in mind that if you are leaving at any time, your Sea Coach, you need to get it, or Seabird or Sea Coach, or Aberdeen Water Taxi. Those are the 3 options you have now. All 3 of those options leave 4 hours before the actual flight time. So with that, I'm stuck. So let's go to that UBA right there. Because down there I think I go airport. No two UBAs have.
Now that I've actually paid, I have to board the Aberdeen Water Taxi. So this is what the process looks like. You have to get on the docks, obviously from the docks. That's the Aberdeen Water Taxi sign on the side of the boat. And now I have to board the boat itself. So it's kind of rocking a little bit, not too bad. Easy stepping on. And then when you walk in, this is what the seats look like. This seat's less than what the other 2, Sea Coach and Seabird seat. But yeah, so I just sat down in the front, and basically it was just me and the conductor.
So I had to charter a boat from Aberdeen Water Taxi. As you just saw the receipt, just walked up to the boat. Now I'm on my way to the airport. I know my bags are overweight, so I'm a little worried about that cost because I've now exceeded the limit that I'm allowed to take money out of my account through the ATM. So it's about to be an adventure when I get to the airport, but let me just get there and see if I can figure it out when I get there. So let's go.
So the ride across is about 45 minutes to an hour. So I just took some time to kind of just film what you can see a little bit of it. Here's the speed in which we were going. Once you get started, you can't see the other side from mainland. You can't see Lunge where the airport is from mainland, but it doesn't take too long. So we're on our way.
All right, now we're on the other side. Still got a long way to go to get this flight and get out of here.
Once we got to the other side, we had to move with speed across this long dock. So we're walking with a little bit of speed because at this point in time, I have about 2 hours and like 10 minutes before my flight leaves, so we had to move quickly. And we wanted to get down the dock to a car. So Aberdeen Water Taxi, of course, they have their own vehicle that picks you up from the other side and takes you to Lunge. They had a couple of helpers carrying my bags for me. I had a suitcase with me that I was walking with, and then they had the 2 that they were carrying, the other 2. Then we get in the car and go.
Okay, I made it to the airport. I have to fill out the form online first. I forgot about it. So,
Which side? Usually it's up here, right?
yeah.
All right, so that was the process, getting across the water, getting to the airport, getting in the airport. Let's check out the food really quickly. It's the food at the airport, because that was actually really good. The fried rice was good, so check that out.
So at least the check-in has been complete, but now I have to take my bags through not customs, but the other checkpoint. So let's see how that process goes. Look at the Africa World Airlines boarding pass. It's written. That is Sierra Leone. I've finally gotten through and checked in. Finally. So now I can get some food, and I'm gonna have to try to figure out how I'm gonna get in a Uber when I get to Ghana, but at least I'm here. Now I'm gonna get some food. I need to eat. I haven't eaten all day. I'm hungry, thirsty.
Man, this place is stressful, but you know what? We made it. That's all that matters. Well, we didn't make it yet. I'm at the airport, but I'm about to get my flight. At least I got to the flight. So most of the work has been done. Man, what a stressful morning. What a stressful morning. Guys, I'm gonna tell you about my travel experiences here in West Africa. They have been challenging. But I'm here now, so we're getting ready to go. All right, I got the fried rice, so that's pepper. And there's some extra sauce to put on top of it, like a tomato sauce. Let's see how it tastes. Let's see. Food is just far superior to everybody else. Fried rice in Nigeria, fried rice in Ghana, fried rice in Sierra Leone always win. Pepper, very hot. Very spicy. That's good. Is it with some of the sauce on it? See sauce on top. Very good. Very good. All right, so we are leaving now. The plane is here. On my way to Ghana. There's the plane. Let's go. All right, so that's the video at the airport. That was me eating the fried rice. That was good. Now let's get to the flight, and let me tell you what happens when you get to Ghana. All right, cool. So now we got on the flight. We get to Ghana, and honestly, it's a much smoother process. They put up a bunch of stuff for COVID protocols, and it was just a tedious, arduous process. But once you're vaccinated, and actually I don't think you even need to be vaccinated. I don't know what the situation is, but you no longer have to stand in those long lines to get tested before you move on. So you go straight to immigration. There's one place in immigration though where they ask you for your yellow fever card and your COVID vaccination card. So it's a blue card and a yellow card, at least mine are. You have to show those, then you can go to immigration, then you can go check your bags, and then you can leave. But yeah, check out that process really quickly here. So this is a little over a 3.5 hour flight or so. I really like sitting at the window seat just because it gives you a really good view. I like to see the clouds, and then I also like to see as you're getting closer to your landing, just looking at the city overall. It's kind of cool to see the architecture of a city from this high up. And when you look at Accra, it kind of reminds you of many other major cities around the world. I don't know if too many people would expect to see a city in West Africa look like this. I mean, you have the city area, but then what is also cool is different from other cities around the world is all the greenery. You can see that there's still untouched land, and that's what I really like to see. You don't have to inhabit every single corner of every single piece of land. Okay, we are back in Ghana. My first time entering, now that I have a vaccine card, so I don't know what the process looks like. I'm not sure if actually it's my second time entering, having had a vaccine card, but under this new rules and regulations, I'm not sure if I still need to get COVID tested. That's the one thing I'm about to find out. As far as I understand, I do not have to get COVID tested, but this is what the hallway used to. You have to sit here, get tested in one of these areas. They set all of this up during the pandemic. This stuff was not here, you see? That stuff wasn't there in 2019 when I came for the year of return. But by the last few times I was coming in and out of this country, we always had to sit there. Looks like no longer the case. Just walked through the whole hallway. Nobody has stopped us. So it looks like there's no longer a requirement to get tested to enter the country.
At least not there. So we'll see how everything goes from here, but it looks like we are smooth sailing. Let's do this. I realized that in all of my previous vlogs, I've never actually, oh, never mind. No filming our device. No filming, no filming. Finally made it back to my neighborhood. And it's like I never left. Some changes, some things are still the same. One thing that's the same is that the electricity always runs out. So I have to go pay about, it's the equivalent to about 40 bucks, something like that, for electric for 3 weeks. Even though I'm only gonna be here 1 week, so I'll probably buy enough for, you know, like 2 weeks worth. So when I come back, there's a little bit of juice left when I come back the next time. But yeah, man, electricity is expensive, and I got no choice but to pay for it, right? If I want to run the AC as much as I do, I gotta go spend some money. So, all right, guys, I'm back now, back to regular life, everyday life. I got more for you soon.
Yeah, so that was the airport, and then I was on my way back home. Finally was on my way home. But man, this whole thing was a disaster. I'm just happy to be back in Ghana, was able to get some stuff done before I leave again for another 7 weeks. I'm about to be leaving Ghana. I'm going to Europe, and then I'm going to the US. I'll be in New York, I'll be in LA, and I'll be coming back to Ghana. I'll be going to Sierra Leone and going to Nigeria again after 7 weeks. But the next video I do is gonna be me leaving Ghana and heading to London. So, with that, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.